Good evening, everybody. Say hello as you come in. Let me know where you're from. I'm trying to get to know where all my regulars, where they're from, right? So if I ever decide to do a road trip, right, and I decide to make little pit stops, I'd like to know where people live so I can make my itinerary. I plan this summer to do a little bit of traveling, I think in the States, right? I would like to go on a road trip. I've really, yeah, I've got to set some serious goals, some fresh goals this year, some exciting goals, right? You know, I've been concentrate on self-healing, right? And because I changed, because I changed my topics so much and I pivoted so much in the past couple of years that I really think it's time for me to experience life again, right? To enjoy. I think it was the point the whole time, right? But I had so much to learn, right? Because when I discovered these new topics, they instantly made huge impacts in my life, right? And I thought I would use them as tools, right? As I'm moving on in my exploring and stuff. And I didn't realize it was going to become such a big part of my life, an all consuming part of my life, right? Yeah. Interesting, like I so could have easily have missed such important aspects that just changed everything for me, right? And I could have easily just missed out on that. And yeah, and because I'm feeling so much better now, like I truly am feeling better, even though I'm in no better situation now as I was last week, right? Hello, Andrew. Good evening. How's your Sunday? How was church tonight? Yeah, so, even though things haven't gotten so much better for me in the past little while, I do feel that fire under my butt going and and I have some ideas now, right? Like I have some ideas of where I want to go. Like I was holding off, right? Because I've been changing so much. Like I've been changing, like, take a couple of days rest and the next thing you know, like I feel like my whole what I resonate changes again, right? And things are starting to settle down. Hi, William. Yeah, William texted me this morning. I didn't get back to you on that, but yeah, that was nice that you texted me this morning and told me a little bit of what you were doing. I actually thought yesterday that I had lost my internet, and I was so good about it too, right? It finally went down. I was expecting to lose my internet, right? I just haven't been able to keep up on the bills the way I had hoped to, and yeah, yesterday the internet went down, and I expected it, right? So I was prepared. I was going to take it really, really well, and right away I started thinking about, what I was going to do. I pulled out some books, right, so I can keep up with my studying on the books, and I had made some notes of, some jobs, prospects and stuff that I could maybe, track down on some work and but I knew I was going to have a hard time not having my internet. I spent a lot of time online, right? Like I said, I had a lot of catching up to do, right? So I was pounding back information like a maniac, and I think I did really, really good. And not just in the studying, but actually taking in, right? Taking in that studying, and I wasn't being, very narrow. I didn't want to be narrow in my studies. I wanted to be open, right? So that I could take in all the information that I could come across so that I could pick what I resonated with, right? I didn't want to just stay specific in one subject and then, find out later I had made a mistake, right? And yeah, I didn't think I did, right? But I just wanted to give, every aspect and every little bit of interest that I had a chance to catch me and to carry me away. And Yeah, I'm in this, right? It's mindset for me, right? Law of attraction. Like, I don't know. I think I'm really supposed to be, a part of this, right? And I think that law of attraction actually has to be in the content when I'm off exploring, this spring and this summer, it has to be tied in now, I realize, right? Because now it's a part of me, right? I just and I've got to stop that. I really do have to get some practice in speech. I really, really dislike. I'm not going to say hate, even though it's pretty close. I really hate. I really dislike. I would prefer not to use right? And right. There's another one that can go. I don't mind A because A is very Canadian, right? So it kind of represents a little bit, but like and yeah, they really, really do have to, go. I would like to think that I have a pretty good vocabulary, right? But you don't represent yourself well when you carry these extra words. These are actually thought words that you interject in your conversations, right? So that you can actually think while you're talking. And I know a lot of thought leaders, what they do is they talk slowly, right? So that they can think while they're talking. And I really haven't gotten to that point yet. And I know I have to, right? But it is practice and it is awareness, right? Because now, see, every time I see that or say that word right, I make a little note of it. And they say you're supposed to do it. Just if you just take a note of what you say, like even if you're like somebody who swears a lot, right? If you just make a mental note of the swear words as they come out, just making that mental note, your conscience will pick it up to the point where you'll do it less often, and then pretty soon it'll get to the point where you just won't even use it at all, right? Sometimes I can go into a flow where the conversation will just flow really nicely, right? But I'm still in that stage where I'm thinking while I'm yapping, and I didn't make a point sheet tonight. And I've just been trying to catch up and be a little bit of a gobble monster with my videos, right? Because I know I'm gonna lose it. But like I said, I do have some books, right, that I've been wanting to get into. And because videos are so much easier to consume for me, right? Like I really like consuming my content through video. How do you guys like to consume? I know Andrew likes to read, but do you like, Andrew, just as much to watch videos as you do to read, or do you prefer to read more than you watch videos? I would be interested to know that. I made a bean soup. I had a really bad episode last week when I used too much beans in the soup that I made. So tonight I made a soup, and again I put beans in it, and I put a few more beans, right? Only because the lack of vegetables that I had to go into the soup, right? But still not as many beans as I did last week. So hopefully I don't have any issues. Wow, because that was really scary last week. I didn't sleep all night. I had such stomach problems all night, right? Yeah, I boiled my own beans. I usually buy them frozen in a bag, right? And then I add those to my soup. But for the value for the money, I got a great big party pack of beans, and I went, oh my gosh, I got a lifetime supply of beans, and I just didn't measure properly. So yeah, it actually my soup last week was like pork and beans. It was so thick, right? So it made sense that I got a little bit of a stomach ache from that. Yeah, I feel the same way, Andrew. To get the information right to correct. correctly and so that it absorbs properly. I really do like videos. I could quite often be distracted from a book. I can read a book, but I'm somebody who likes to pop up and change things up. Whether whether I watch a couple of videos, then I'll get up and I'll clean the washroom, or I'll go do some dishes, or do some laundry. Just get the chores done in between, and just to break that up, right? Because I can overload on content, right? Sometimes I get so into learning that I do overload on content, and I have been getting some videos suggested to me on how to slow down. I actually had a video suggested to me today to actually take a whole week off, but as long as I've got my phone to post, as long as I got my phone, I am just going to post until it comes to the very end. And at the same time, I'm going to do everything I can. Tomorrow, after my live tonight, I've got some things. I'm going to list some things today. I've got some money coming in next week that can hopefully cover off my phone bill. Yeah, the rent is another story, but yeah, nobody's gonna kick me out at Christmas. I don't think that would be pretty sad if somebody were to do that. But at the same time, I got to take responsibility. It's the first time that I've fallen behind in my entire life this much with my rent, but it's already into the middle of the month, right? You know, Yesterday I was going to post on my Instagram about poverty, right? It might not seem like it, right? I'm very creative in the way that I live, right? And the way I dress and where I shop, and how I shop, like I do get a lot of nice designer clothes and things that I do find at secondhand stores. And I try not to represent myself as somebody who's in a different financial bracket than I am. Like, I like to be genuine, right? But yesterday I did give it some serious thought, that I am impoverished, right? I have been for a couple of years at the very least now. I have been, and I've been trying to stay off the system because I am so active online, right? I don't feel it's right for me to draw funds from a system where I'm putting just as much time into my brand, right? And working online, even though it's not making money, but I am putting just as much time into that as I am uh, if I was working a full-time job or looking for full-time work. And I don't think in proper consciousness and for my own sense of self-worth that I would feel good about myself about taking money out of the system. It's been a bit of a thorn in my side too with my family, right? Right, because of my complex trauma. My sisters would like to see me pensioned off, right? But I don't even know if I went in for proper tests now, if I could even be categorized as traumatized, right? Because I have done so much work on myself that I really don't feel that desperation, and right now I should be a mess. I should be an absolute. I don't think I have been in a worse situation than I have been that I am in right now in my entire life. It is. And I've also been thinking about the fact is because I know this is part of the journey that you actually do have to crash, right? In order to be resurrected into, at least it's what I've come to believe, right? That you have to crash in order to be resurrected into full awakening, into a new life, right? So I think on some level, I have actually been pushing that, right? That I've actually been self-sabotaging and I've been booby trapping myself, and I've actually been forcing myself into that position, not because so much that I would like, to be able to get past all this crazy jittery stuff that goes on with me, right? This uncertainty and this little bit of unsuredness that I have. Like, I would like to get rid of it, but certainly, I wouldn't do it, just to get it done, right? I actually, I just don't like to be impoverished, right? It scares me to think that I could lose my brand just because I couldn't afford it. Like, I know I could come back, but I also know the fact that when you slow down and when you take those breaks, like, I've seen people not come back. And as though determined as I am, right, to make my brand succeed, as determined as I am, I'm still afraid that if I am forced to stop, that I will have stopped, right? I know that the journey that I'm on spiritually, that doesn't change. I mean, it's not like I can go backwards in those understandings that I've come to, right? So I look forward to that, right? It's just scary just not knowing, right? Yeah, let me just take a look at a few of the comments here. Yeah, when I read, I would prefer to sit and read a whole book, or at least get right into it, because I could be pulled away from a book and not come back to a book if it doesn't catch my wonder right away. Like, a video can catch my wonder, like, especially creators now, they're so good, they know to catch the attention of the viewer within a few seconds, right? So I can be pulled into a video really, really easy. And because I'm so curious, I find so many things interesting, right? When I worked at the bar, it would amaze people that, that they would come in and they would sit at a table, and I would start a conversation, find out, where they're from and what brought them into the bar and stuff like that. And then, you find an interest point with them, right? And it was very rare for me to come across, a topic that I hadn't at least touched on somewheres and pulled up some kind of information, because those are the conversation starters, right? Those are the ones that you can actually, interact with the people if you know a little bit about the topic that they're interested in, right? So I kind of prided myself on having an interest in other people's interests, right? And if I didn't happen to know, well, then that would be an opportunity to ask a few questions, that I could learn on the topic. So the next time I did meet some people when I was working in the bar, that I would actually be able to, it was about making people feel comfortable, right? So it was important to find, a topic that you can relate with your customer on. And I was very good at it, and I was genuine about it too, because I was genuine about knowing people and understanding people, right? It was part of my complex trauma, right? To try to do my own like psychology work, right? Like, because you want to understand, right? I always wanted to understand what made people tick, what made people to say the things they did, or do the things they did, or inspire people the way they, like, these kind of things interested me, right? So it made sense that I would find, like, being a server in nightclubs or restaurants and stuff, that I would find that kind of stuff interesting, right? But at the same time, I am an introvert, right? I do like to spend, like, my post on Instagram tonight was about a little bit about me being an introvert, being a lone wolf. That was the title of my Instagram post, was lone wolf, right? Because I am a lone wolf. It's very hard for me, basically because, you know, especially the past few years, I find that people that I'm close to, people who don't know me, really don't get a chance to know me fast enough or well enough in the first interactions to make a judgment call like that. But the people who do know me the past couple of years, I've kind of drawn away from them a little bit because of their attitude, because I haven't been working, right? Since I've been working, for that one company this past spring, I've been just, selling my stuff, doing little chores for my sister to earn some money. I did have a few months. I did have a few months of entitlement for unemployment, so I did take advantage of that, right? But the I don't know what they call it in the States. Here they call it welfare in Canada, right? My sisters would like to see me go to welfare. They would like to see me to get a disability pension. I'm quite capable of getting a job, right? And I still don't know why it's not happening. And it is a combination of not putting that effort in, not wanting to take those jobs, right? Having expectations that my brand is going to take off at any moment, right? That's the hopefulness in me, right? That is, it's just going to take off, and once it takes off, then I'll be able to have the funds I need to go off and do what I want, and at the same time, right? I'm contemplating, like, oh, can I go back to school, right? They have a great media course, right? I don't know what they could teach me other than the technical part of it, right? But I think I've got it clinched where it comes to, connecting with the audience, right? I do think I have that, and the rest of it I could learn, and I think a lot of it I don't even want to learn, right? So if my brand were to take off, I would be very quick to hire some help. I would be very quick to hire some help. But at the same time, I'm not sure whether the brand itself, I would want it to be huge, because I do have plans for my brand, but it's a combination of things, right? My brand, eventually I would like to see Prairie Dodgers be a resort, right? A spiritual retreat, out in the wilderness. I would like to have, a big complex, and, a cabin system on a lake, a private lake, where I could fly in my guests, right? Where it could be somewhere where people can really emotionally recuperate, right? Especially in the industry that I'm in, there's a lot of burnout going on. And I think it would be quite helpful. And there are spiritual retreats and stuff that people have, right? And health resorts and stuff. But I would really like to get, and it would take a long time. This would be like a long term. This would be my ultimate goal, right? Would be to have a spiritual or a relaxation, right? More to help people cope with their burnout in this industry, right? Help people to come back to nature and come back to themselves. But that would be part of it. I would like to see, these posts that I'm making are really, really interesting. I mean, they need to be polished, right? If I were to put them, but I would like to see them to go into a book. If I could do enough of those posts, that I would eventually like to see them go into a book, because I started those posts when I started, this spiritual journey, that the interest that I have, right? And I started at the same time, so that's kind of like my timeline, my story as it went along. Of course, I journal. I have I have my main journal here, and then I also have another journal which is for another personal topic, right? That I have. So, I do have everything documented along with all my scrapbooks that I keep all these scrapbooks lying around too, right? Let me just take a look at the comments here and see what's going on. Freedom and choice and that's true too, Andrew, poverty. And I have to say that I'm impoverished, right? I am down there. I mean, yes, I'm still in a nice apartment, right? I mean, it's not a fancy apartment or anything, but it's been my home for 30 years. Like, I'm on the verge of losing my home that I've had now, since the 90s. And, I'm waiting to lose all of my utilities, right? And I'm waiting. Why? Why am I waiting? Why is that such a block, right? And that's why I'm thinking that I have to be self-sabotaging. I just have to be. I think I'm purposely putting myself to that point where I can crash, right? Like, I just want this to be over and done with. And I think, yeah, I think in the end, all I'm going to do is just going to make this whole process just even more difficult, right? And things are just going to end up having to repeat themselves over and over again. Just when I think I got the handle on things emotionally, then another topic comes out and I haven't even touched on it. And I go, oh my gosh, right? Like, there is so much to learn in mindset. Like, there is so much to learn. And it's very important that you learn it. And it's very important that you get it right? Because you're playing with people's emotions, you're playing with people's minds, right? People need to trust that you know what you're talking about. And that's also why it's holding me off from diving right into it, right? Because how can I teach mindset? How can I show people, what an amazing thing I stumbled onto when I haven't made it work for myself yet, right? I mean, I have mentally, right? But there's an abundance aspect to mindset that I have just not been able to get a handle on. And also at the same time, the spiritual part of it too, right? Like, for those of you who've been following me, I've been having an interest in different religions lately, right? And yeah, it just seems that every religion that I've been popping or bumping into, it seems to be somebody who has had enlightenment, right? Who has been enlightened, and just not like Jesus and Mohammed, and like the there's people in our days, right? That can be put up into this status too. So it confuses me, right? It confuses me, like, because I feel that there is something, right? I just don't know what it is, and I don't like not knowing, right? Because what happens is it makes me curious, and there are some things in the world that it's not necessary for you to know, right? Do I need to know that God is there? Well, yeah, I do know, like, that there's a God there, but do I have to study him, right? And I think basically I need to take care of myself and I need to contribute to the world, right? I don't think I need to delve into the specifics. There are things that interest me, right? That I can contribute, like, clean water interests me, right? Forestry, woodlands, nature, that interests me a lot. People's emotional well-beings is crucially important to me, right? Because of the damage that happened to me and the amount of time that I wasted on my life when I could have spent being happy and productive and and built something for myself. I wasted all those years, right? I sure would love to help people. And I should say too, if you ever want to talk to me, right, and you want a little bit of advice, right, on mindset, yeah, just contact me, DM me through my Instagram, right? And yeah, maybe if you want to come live with me on Instagram, we can dive right deep into it too. And I have some great friends in this industry too that could offer a lot of information. Oh, I should tell you about a great song here. I'm just gonna leave a link here. See if this works. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. We'll see. Check out this song. This song is my song. It's an actual prayer. It's a native prayer, and it's all about nature and spirituality. It's so beautiful. Like it's so beautiful. This song. So I think that's the link to it. But yeah, if you have a moment, check it out. It's so pretty. It's a 6 minute tune, but yeah, it's a native prayer. It's really pretty. But yeah, just checking out new music, right? I've been trying to. A lot of the music I like is sad songs, right? And I've got to get out of those sad songs. Not necessarily sad songs, like love songs and story songs like Dolly Parton, when she tells stories and stuff. I like those kind of songs, right? Songs that have good stories in them and stuff. So I'm just trying to find more upbeat music, and I like funk, right? And I like music like Donna Summer and Fleetwood Mac, and so yeah, CCR. So I've just been trying to find some really upbeat music. So if you have any favorite artists or anything that you would like to suggest to me, I would love to know who some of your favorite musicians and artists that you love to listen to. I would love to know, right? I went up to a restaurant, and in this restaurant is just up the road from me. They have a little museum, a Burton Cummings museum. They have his guitars and his piano in the window and pictures and different diplomas and certificates of honor that he got, right? Because he was a great composer. He still is a great composer. He's touring. He has such a busy tour schedule too. I was just in his website, and yeah, I really love Burton Cummings, right? I really love that tune American Woman and Stand Tall, and yeah, so he's one of my favorites, Burton Cummings. And I have a lot of favorites, but like I said, I like to listen to the music and not so much of the words, even though as of late I have been it just seems that everything spoken to me as of late has meaning, right? So I'm looking for meanings and absolutely everything I read, everything I watch, yeah, every conversation that I get into, like I'm reading behind the lines, yeah, even reading tags on Instagram posts, right? But it helps me too, right? Because then I know what useful tags that I can use for my posts, right? I used to be able to just send out my resumes and just get phone calls at the very least for interviews, right? I don't even get calls for interviews. And even when I have two resumes, right? I have one resume that promotes my customer service and my hospitality, right? Because of all the bar and restaurant work that I do. So I have one resume that promotes that, but I also have a resume that promotes my marketing experience, right? And my social media experience, right? Because I think I am getting pretty good at it now. Like I have a better grasp and a better understanding. There's a lot to learn on it, right? But I am learning, and I and yeah, it's just a lot of learning. Oh, I'm gonna check that one out, Andrew. I never even heard of Justin Unger. I've never even heard of him. I'm just gonna write that down now so I can take a look. Behold, and I'll take a look after the live tonight. Yeah, I have to get as much of the job hunting in tonight and as much resumes off to as many jobs as I can tomorrow because yeah, if I lose my internet, it'll be hard, right? Because then I'm going to be ended up using crazy data. And I do have good data on my phone, right? Like I took a party pack of data, even though I do have separate internet so that I use the Wi-Fi, right, for my internet. So it doesn't hurt so much. But once I lose my internet, yeah, that data usage is going to be killer because I do a lot of downloading, also photographs and things from my Google Photos and yeah, I use a lot of little apps and stuff that I'm sure uses lots of data, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I'm gonna have to go to McDonald's or something and use Wi-Fi, right? Yeah, tomorrow priority. I don't care. I can lose absolutely everything. I don't care. I can lose everything, but I have to keep my phone. I've got to figure out a way. If you guys don't hear from me, it'll be because I lost the phone too. Then I know I'm in desperate need. And then I know that I will have to break down and go on some kind of system. That's going to take a big blow to my pride, right? It will. And I'll do it if I have to, right? I will do it. I'm not going to starve myself to death, right? Like I will use Winnipeg Harvest. I will use the assistance programs here. I mean, it might even be good for me, right? Because then maybe I could get some assistance because they do have programs, placement programs to get you into work, right? And I shouldn't have so much pride that I can't admit when yeah, I'm in no better situation than a lot of people are, right? So yeah, and I need the phone because we're gonna have our Christmas Eve live, right? Yeah, I have no choice. That phone has gotta happen, right? So I know next week I'll have $300 that I can put down on the phone. So I think tomorrow that I'll make some phone calls and see, if $300 will tie them over, and at least I can keep the phone. And I know I'm good here. Yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm good here through the Christmas holidays. I am sure. I'm just looking at here my thing, like I wasn't too sure whether I was using this microphone. How is the sound here? Yeah, I didn't check to see which microphone I was using, but I am going to assume that I am using the Yeti for my live. I hope I am. I didn't check. I didn't check. My sound is probably not very good. But I make mistakes. I do. I do. Oh, Owen's here. How are you tonight, Owen? Yes, I do. And we all will, right? We all need our phones. I like the computer because I like the big screen, right? I like working on my phone, but if I'm watching videos, I want to do it on a monitor, right? and I can't afford a new laptop, right? So I like my computer. My desktop has never. Nancy's here too. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, I love my laptop. My laptop has, or not my laptop, my PC has never failed me ever. And I like working at my desk, right? I really like working at my desk. I have a great big cherry oak desk. My sister is a sales executive for office business furnishings, right? Like she builds offices, cubicles and fancy offices. So she does get nice furniture every once in a while. But if it gets returned because it hasn't chipped or something, then it sits in the warehouse, right? And then once or twice a year, the staff will get the opportunity to purchase some of this furniture. And yeah, this is how I got my beautiful office chair. This chair is over $1,000 for this chair, right? And yeah, I got this chair, $50. And yeah, the desk itself, I think, was cheap too. And it's cherry wood, right? So I do get deals, right? I live beyond my means, but it's because I get really good deals. Like I said, I'll look for designer clothes at the secondhand store, and I can't even afford to do the secondhand, so I need clothes desperately. I have lost so much weight, everybody. I don't even know how much weight I have lost, but it's got to be over 60 pounds now for sure. Is Dave here too? Oh, Dave, I didn't see you. My hair. Oh, I just threw it in a bit of a. Ah, is that ever nice of you, Dave, to say? I think I'm gonna go another shade lighter. I think too, right? I think I will. I think I will go one more blonde lighter. But yeah, it's getting long. But see how curly my hair is. Yeah, it's just a big pile of curls. But Merry Christmas, everybody. I guess it's the Christmas season, right? I was trying to make a little bit of a grocery list because I think if my money comes in, right, that I'm getting 300 and something, so the something will be mine. So it'll be about $50. So that will be my budget for Christmas, right? So I was trying to think what I would do. I think I was going to get a bag of flour because I'm going to go off my diet for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, right? Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I'm going to go off my diet, and I've decided to buy a bag of flour because I'm going to make Napoleon cookies, right? Not Napoleon cookies, the one with the icing, right? With the jam in between, two sugar cookies. What are those called? Napoleons? Maybe they're called Napoleon. No, they're not Napoleons. I can't remember what they are, but they got jam inside. So I thought I'd make those for Christmas, right? And then I want to have peanut butter toast because I haven't had any peanut butter since since May. I haven't had any peanut butter, so I would like to have peanut butter toast in the morning, but I want to have peanut butter toast on homemade bread because I make the most amazing bread, right? I make beautiful bread. So I'm going to make peanut butter homemade toast in the morning. I'm going to have poached eggs on toast for breakfast. And then I'm going to have on Christmas Eve, I'm going to have my mincemeat pie and a root beer float. I'm kind of not into the root beer float anymore, but because I committed to it, I might still have it just because, I promised myself that I would have it. But definitely vanilla ice cream. I don't do dairy very well, but I expect I'm going to get up on Christmas morning and my stomach is not going to be very, very well off. Yeah, it's been a while for treats, right? You know, and then I think that will be the end of the diet as per se. Like I know I'm still going to end up losing weight because I know my system has changed. The way I think about food, my relationship with food has changed. So I know the weight is still going to come off, but it can come off slowly now, right? I've gotten the majority of what I wanted to get off. I've taken most of that off now. So I think I would like to maybe lose 10 pounds, but if I took, the next year to lose 10 pounds, then I'm good with that. I don't think I need a lot of toning because anything loose is skin with me, and you can't tighten skin up, right? And so that would be some loose skin on my arms, some loose skin on my thighs, and here. Oh, yeah. The moment I can get a little facelift, right? If my money train ever came in, would that be, well, of course I'm going to clear up all my debts, number one. Number two, I would have to get a car. I can't live without a car. I have to have a car. Cabbage rolls. Yeah, I love cabbage rolls. Yeah. I make lazy halakshi all the time, and I should make a pot of halakshi too because it can last all week, and that's something I can do as diet food, right? Because I'll just eliminate the rice. I won't put the rice in the pot, right? I'll just put the cabbage and the tomato sauce and the hamburger and the green peppers and the onions, right? And the stewed tomatoes and just let it simmer like that. And I could eat that and it would stay good in the fridge all week, right? So whenever I wanted something, they're considered zero foods, right? Where you could just eat as much as you wanted that, right? Because it just moved through your system, what your system doesn't take, right? Which reminds me, is time for my vitamins, right? I've been trying to remember my vitamins, and I should keep them on my desk all the time, right? I just think that winter is really hard on my system. I've been going for walks at night, and I've been really, really enjoying my winter walks. Like it's so cold outside, but I bundle up and then I go for a walk, you know, down a ways, right? But on the way home, I'm able to pick up a couple of coffees and I'm able to stop off at my sister's Carolyn's house to drop off a coffee for her and have a couple of minutes of conversation because I've just been spending all my time by myself, right? I'm just by myself. Yeah. It's all good though. It's like I'm keeping myself busy and I'm keeping myself entertained. But the thing is, there's so many things that I need to do, and like I can't even get downtown into the office buildings and stuff. Like I have some official work to do, but like, how do you get down there? I have to wait, until the funds roll in that I can actually maybe get a bus pass. Ooh, and that's gonna hurt if I have to dish money out for a bus pass. Yeah. But miracles happen all the time, right? And at the very least, I know at the very, very least that the universe is going to take care of me. Like, I'm thinking about it, right? Like, this is the worst situation I have been in my entire life financially, right? But I have never, ever in my whole life had to go without, I've always had a roof over my head and a meal at the very least, right? So, I'm sure I'm sure I'm going to get that. And like I said, I'm not going to let myself starve, and I'm not going to be, not wise about my decision making, right? Like, well, I guess I have been unwise, right? It's been pride, right? And I have said no to a lot of help when people have wanted to help, right? But I can't take help from people if I can't help myself, right? I have to put that effort into to help myself. And it just seems that all I've been interested in is learning. I just wanna learn and I do want to dig myself out because once I do dig myself out, then I will have that self-confidence to know that I know, right? That's what's stopping me is because I could help so many people. I know I could help a lot of people with because I know how it's helped me, right? But the one thing that this program is, and it's not a program, but the one thing that mindset does for you is abundance. It helps you to get your finances in order. And my finances have not been in any better shape today, like I said, than they've ever been. So how can I advise people on something that I'm just not managing on my own, right? Irish soda bread. I like Irish bread. It's dry. Irish bread is dry. I don't think they put eggs in their bread. I think that's why it's so dry. But I do like bread. I have 2 bags of corn flour, right? Because I was gonna do some baking. Because my rule is no flour, but I know corn flour is just as fattening as bleached flour, right? But because I said the process was just meat and vegetables, that I was going to be eating meat and vegetables, I considered corn flour like a vegetable, right? So I bought 2 bags. They were on sale, and I bought 2 bags of them, but I never did open them, right? Because again, I know flour is flour, right? And those were just going to be tons of calories, but I do love cornbread, jalapeno cornbread. So I think on Christmas Eve, I just might have to make cornbread too, right? So for, like I said, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I'm going right off my diet. I'm not going to go crazy. Christmas Eve, I don't think my sisters will be coming over on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, I'll be spending it on my own here. I might go for a really nice walk on Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, we're going to have our pajama party, so that will be fun. Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, like I said, I think I'm just going to go for a nice walk, and I'll make sure that I have a nice dinner, right? Like I'll buy a little roast beef or something, right? And I'll make myself a really nice dinner, and then Boxing Day, right back on my diet, right? Well, oh, right back on my diet. I said it was officially going to be like the end of my diet, but what I think is I'm going to be back to regular eating, like meat and vegetables, but not crazy dieting. And then I'll have a cheat day, right? Once a week. But my diet won't be like harsh diet. Like I'll eat more, right? But more foods that are healthy for me, right? I think I'm going to keep bread off of my diet. I think I'm okay. I gave up candy probably 7 or 8 years ago, and it didn't take me long, but I came off of candy really, really well. And last year was the first time I had candy, and it was at Christmas. I had some Quality Street chocolates. I really like Quality Street chocolates, and they were laying out, and I dropped one in my mouth without even thinking, realizing, oh my gosh, I'm on my diet. And then once I had one, then I had a couple of more after that. But then I didn't have any chocolates after that. But that was the first time I had candy in like 7 years. So I thought if I come off my diet, I think it would probably be good for me to take the bread off of my menu, just not allow myself to have bread. Maybe I can do things like cornbread, or maybe I could do gluten-free bread. I know those are very expensive, but if it tastes like bread, I don't mind it, right? It's just the thing is, I like bread. Bread was a big downfall for me, right? Anything with flour in it, like I love cakes, I love cupcakes and cookies and donuts and peanut butter toast. Oh, peanut butter my toast. Oh my gosh, just one of my absolute favorites, right? I could go through a jar of peanut butter in a couple of days, no problem. Yeah. And then to realize, I don't know if people know out there, but this was a tidbit of information that I came across. And it might not be detrimental to people who like peanut butter every once in a while, right? But did you know that peanut butter causes inflammation in the body? It does. like really bad inflammation too, right? You could have like itis and mouth ulcers and yeast infections and can't heal up from cuts and stuff, toe fungus, these kinds of things, right? Inflammation, like when your ligaments get sore, these things are can be caused by peanut butter, and I love peanut butter, right? So if I thought if I give out bread, that would cause me to eat a little bit better. So I think that will be the plan, is to eliminate bread, because that way I can eliminate butter. I can eliminate peanut butter. I haven't bought a container of margarine since May. There hasn't been any margarine in my house, right? I bought a little container for when Sharon came up here from the States. I bought a little container for her, but we didn't even use it, right? And I ended up throwing it away. So, yeah, if you give up bread, there's a lot of things that will go along with that, right? The sandwich meat can go, mind you. I have no problem picking up a package of salami, and then I'll make salami sandwiches, but I'll make it with lettuce leaves. Do you guys do that? Yeah, that's what I would like to do. Turkeys are really cheap, Andrew, right now, right? So you can pick up turkeys really cheap. So I would like to get a turkey and strip it, right? Maybe that's what I'll do for Christmas, is I'll just get myself a little turkey and strip it so I can have soups and have enough for a really nice meal, and maybe a sandwich with the last of my homemade bread in the morning, right? Because I'll just make one loaf of bread. So I just have one loaf of bread for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so I don't overdo it, right? But of course, I'm sure I'm going to use that entire loaf of bread for my peanut butter. So I'm really looking forward to the peanut butter now, right? But yeah, that was the topic on my Instagram today, was about spending Christmas alone. I'm good with it, right? I'm good. I used to always call myself the holiday girl, right? Because everything traumatic, everything big, big, big that ever happened to me, right, emotionally, happened on a holiday. No kidding. Like Christmas Day, I had a Christmas Day totally ruined on me. I woke up. My mother used to make the best Easter baskets in the whole world. Like nobody. Everybody got a great big bunny, and she made these homemade Christmas baskets, and we have like Easter hunts and everything with the chocolates and stuff. Yeah, my mother went all out at Easter, right? My dad would give her a big pile of cash, and she'd go out and she'd just do Easter up really good. I don't know why I'm telling this story, but yeah, it's pretty sad. I woke up Easter morning all excited about my Easter basket, and yeah, my mother had cut me off at Easter without telling me. My sisters were all there tearing into their Easter, and I didn't have Easter that day. That was just a devastating day for me. I remember I just cried all day. Yeah, I couldn't understand. Like she never even said anything to me. She never told me that the Easter was there was no more Easter for me or anything. She just cut me off the Easter, just cut me off the Easter just like that, right? So Easter was ruined one year. Uh, Halloween got ruined because I was no longer able to do trick or treating and stuff. But I used to have great Halloween parties. My dad, because my birthday was so close to Halloween, my dad would let me have a Halloween party at Halloween. So Halloween is pretty good. Well, of course, there's lots of heartbreaks, around Valentine's Day and stuff. So those have always been sad days for me. My marriage fell apart on my birthday. Yeah, on my birthday. That was my birthday present. Is my marriage falling apart that day? Yeah. So these days that we celebrate they're not important. They're only as important as the label that you put on them, right? So to me, they're just another day to be able to get things accomplished, as far as I'm concerned, right? And a day of rest. It's always nice to have a day off, like a long weekend and stuff. Boy, when I was working. I just so lived for the long weekends where I could just take off for 3 days, right, and go camping. This year I didn't complain at all. I didn't get any camping in this year. I got no camping in at all. And I didn't whine like I did the year before. If you guys all remember the year before, I just, every time I did a live, I would be bawling my eyes out and complaining and, voicing me, right? And yeah, this year has been the worst yet, and yet it's been the best yet, right? Because I understand, right? I understand. Yeah. And, now that I understand, now I'm hoping that maybe I can sort a lot of these abundance issues that I have out, right? Because yeah, there's some kind of block, or there's some kind of hex or spell or something going on. There's something not right there, right? Because I do think positively, and I do think I'm worthy, just as worthy as anybody else, right? But at the same time, when things aren't going well, then I do beat on myself a little bit, but I don't think that much, right? I think when it's mentioned, I pound on myself a little bit, but otherwise, I think I have pretty good self confidence, right, in myself. I do think I have self worth. I do feel worthy quite often, right? 2 weeks off from work. Oh, Andrew, good job. Will you get a break from helping your brother out, or will you help him out still during the holidays, Andrew? I would be interested to know about that. How old is your brother? Can I ask how old your brother is? Yeah, I can't believe it. I was looking at the thing. It's like 10 days. 10 days. It's going to be Christmas, right? And then, yeah, and then next day, Boxing Day, and it's just like right back, right? And then we only have 3 months. And I know in my heart, this is the last year of me going through this. I'm just not going to put up with another year of wastefulness. Yeah, I even this year I wasted a lot, right? You know, I was lucky that I was able to turn around when I did, but yeah, it was exhausting. It was emotionally, physically, spiritually. It was emotionally, just it was something else. It was an experience. It was an experience. Oh, 60. Yeah, couple more years for me, right? I don't even feel like I'm in my 50s even. I don't even feel it. I feel so much. I remember when I moved into this apartment, and I was 37 when I left to come back to Winnipeg. Yeah, when I left, I was 37, and this apartment was just supposed to be temporary, but it turned out to be in such a beautiful neighborhood and central to all my jobs and everything. I just decided to stay here, right? But what was I going to say about 37 years old? Yeah, I'd walk up those 3 flights of stairs to get up to my apartment, and I would just be huffing and puffing. I was so weak, right? I was slim, but I wasn't healthy, right? I wasn't taking vitamins, and you know, emotionally, I wasn't doing well, and yeah, and now here I'm at 58, and I'm doing those 3 flights of stairs, and not even a breath when I walk in the door. Yeah, I rock those. Physically, I am much better than when I moved back here to Winnipeg. I was in Edmonton. My husband got stationed. He was in the military, right? He got stationed with the First Battalion out in Edmonton. So, but when our marriage fell apart, I rented a truck and I loaded the truck up and I moved back to Winnipeg, and my sister had got me this apartment, right? So I would have a place, and it was only supposed to be temporary, but I just ended up staying. The price was right, right? Sometimes when things are so cheap, it makes it so that you don't want to move, right? You look, and I was looking at sharing accommodations, and sharing accommodations are almost exactly the amount of money that I pay for this place, right? So yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be a challenge to find something in the price range that I want. But like I said, I'm happy just to take a room in somebody's house if I have to, right? You know, I'm good at that because when I'm home, I am just online and I'm studying when I'm online, or I'm outside on my walks, or I'm out adventuring, right? So I don't need a lot of space. Like, it was different when I had a life and when I had a life. When I had lots of things to do and I was entertaining and I was looking to advance, what I was accumulating, like the material things and stuff. And obviously, you need space for all of that, but none of that seems to be important to me. Yeah, none of it does. What I'm doing now, right? Working in social media, being a thought leader, you know, yeah, enhancing my understanding of life in general. Like, yeah, these are the important things to me, right? I would like to start building on some relationships, getting to have some friends. Maybe I can renew some friendships with some friends that I had, a few years ago, right? Even I had some good friends, but yeah, I just, for some reason, I just found myself just wanting to be on my own, right? And now all I want to do is be with people. And because I'm so into the studying right now, I'm just not giving myself that chance and that breathing room to make those friends, right? You know, maybe get into a relationship. I don't know. I've been thinking about that too, right? Do I want to date again? I mean, Instagram, I tell ya, the guys, that DM me, like, I just don't understand, right? Like, yeah, you're gonna meet people that way. I don't know. I don't think I would much rather just bump into somebody in a restaurant, or in a park or on a walk or something. I'd much prefer, or even better, going to seminars or conference or something, to wouldn't that be great? Bump into somebody who has the same interests as me. I think that's probably going to be the best bet for me. It doesn't have to be, right? I was always somebody who would prefer to have, like, even with my husband, he had different interests than I did. I don't think me and him had any interests at all together. Like, we complimented each other, right? Like, he liked to be taken care of the way I like to take care of him, and he liked the way I cooked, and I liked the way he provided, right? Because he provided, he took care of the household. He took care of me really, really well, right? I took care of him emotionally. Um, but yeah, as for friends, like, besides that real love, we really didn't have anything in common, right? You know, we weren't even friends. Like, how can you be friends? Like, me and him weren't somebody that we could sit from each other and have deep conversations. Like, all our conversations were just cute, fun stuff, right? Nothing deep. There was nothing. It was just, there was lots of affection, but there was nothing deep about our relationship at all. And I think that I would want that in the next relationship. I would like to have, conversations, at the very least have somebody that, appreciates me for what I got going on up there, right? So I think that's what was lacking. I think I'd be like to look more for the qualities that my dad had, right? Yeah, I wasn't. I was looking for cute. I think. I don't think. Yeah, yeah. My husband, he was cute, but he couldn't even remember garbage day 4. I used to say that all the time, right? Yeah. So I think next time, I think I'm gonna look for the qualities that my dad had. Somebody intelligent. Somebody who's wants to expand their mind. Somebody who likes to have chit chat. Somebody who likes to go for drives. You know, somebody who would like to go for a walk with me in the bush. You don't have to, because I'm happy to do that on my own. But wouldn't that be nice to find somebody that would like to go camping, or like to go on a hike, or like to go for a walk in a park and have a good conversation, or just like to go for a drive and have a good conversation, right? Especially if you're both working, right? And the time you have is just a couple of hours in the evening, or the weekends, right? That there should be some quality time, right? Because this is the person that's going to be keeping you company for your rest of your life, right? You know? Yeah, I should have taken these into considerations, but I really didn't. I just got swept up in the whole thing. And also I was in a kind of a situation where I wasn't used to men, right? I didn't know really how to deal with men at the time. So I thought maybe if I had gotten married and I got myself tied up in a relationship, right, that I could relax a little bit, that I wouldn't have to be uncomfortable with the attention. And now that I'm older, I don't have to worry about that anymore anyway. But at that time, I worried about it quite a bit, right? Because I knew it would be easy for me. I couldn't say no to guys, right? And I still have a hard time saying no to any question or any request that people like. I will, if somebody asks me a favor, I will bend over backwards and kill myself to try and do that for you, because that's just the person that I am, right? But yeah, not being able to say no when you really want to say no, that is that is a hard one, right? You know, that rejection is a big one for me. I don't like to be rejected, and I think that's a big holdback in me looking for the jobs that I want to look for, right? The jobs that I want to apply for, because then I really worry that you know that I won't be good enough, right? And I shouldn't be thinking about that way, because I've worked so much to improve on my ego and stuff, but I still think that way, right? Nancy's going to Louisiana. That wet cold cannot be doing you any good at all, Nancy. Not at all. Louisiana, how exciting. They have those beautiful trees in Louisiana. What do they call those? Willow trees? Are they willow trees? The ones that hang over and then the branches hang right to the ground? Are those sycamore trees? I don't know, but they do have beautiful trees in Louisiana. I know that much. Yeah, I have. Oh, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Cypress trees. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, cypress trees. Those are beautiful. Magnolias. Magnolia trees? Magnolias. Trying to think. Those are beautiful flowers. I think a magnolia. Oh, no. I'm thinking orchids, not magnolias. Yeah, magnolia. I'm gonna have to Google magnolia trees. I want to see what a magnolia tree looks like. I thought magnolias grew on bushes. But hi, Jennifer. It's nice to see you. Happy Sunday. One 10 days till Christmas, right? Is it next Wednesday or next Tuesday? Christmas? Next Wednesday is Christmas. How exciting. I am excited. I'm going to go for a Christmas walk. I've decided I'm going to go for a Christmas walk. I might even pack myself up a little winter picnic or something and just have Christmas in the park. Oh, wouldn't that be just all nice, just by myself, right? Yeah, yeah. I think that's what I'll do. I'm not sad about the situation. I would prefer, I think I would prefer Christmas to be like that this year. I think it would be good for my family too, right? It won't be any drama because I can go there, but I'm going to feel it, right? Like everybody will be polite to me, right? I'm going to go there and everybody will be polite, but there'll be that undercurrent of resentment. Like I can feel it already. And I went to my sister's the other day and I guess she had been talking to my sister on her speakerphone and she went back to the phone and she says, "Oh, gotta go. Cindy's here." And then I could just hear my other sister's voice. And I just like, okay, well, time hasn't mellowed that situation out any better. So I just kind of said, okay, well, I just kind of resigned myself to yeah. I have to let some relationships go, right? We're just different people. Doesn't mean I don't love them any less, right? It doesn't mean that I don't love them any less. It just means that we're on different paths, right? We're on different paths and yeah, I know my sisters care for me lots, right? I do, and I know that they worry for me, right? But this is my life, right? And I've wasted so much of my life. They might not need this because they didn't have the situations in their life that I did, right? And they could probably do with a little bit of these lessons that I've done myself too. So yeah, they're no angels themselves, right? But you know, yeah. We're just gonna let that subject go for the new year, right? And Christmas is only for one day. It's only for one day, and once that one day is over, they can go back to being the person. They'll be, everybody will just be fine. Everybody will just be fine. Yeah, it's sad when relationships come to the end, right? And I'm sure my relationships they haven't come to the end, and then my sisters, they'll be right back once I'm back on my feet and I can support myself. I mean, yeah, it's about my self-worth, right? I just have no self-worth and I don't feel good about myself when I'm around them, right? I see their points, right? And they feel just as crappy as I do for different reasons, right? But, I can't meet their needs and I have no intention of meeting their needs if if my needs can't be met, right? I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking, for them to be, thoughtful of my boundaries, right? I don't have a lot of boundaries, I just want to be able to walk in the door, to have a nice visit, and not to feel like, I'm a loser or I'm a mooch or I'm not mentally well, right? These are my sisters that make me feel this way, right? And I wouldn't do that to them, right? Even and as upset as I am, like I would never do that to them. And then at the same point, they're expecting apologies. Well, I don't have anything to apologize for, except for the fact that, that, yeah, okay, now I owe my sister some money, right? So I will, I have no plans of not paying her back. I will pay her back. And I, yeah, maybe there was a miscommunication there, that I thought a lot of this was gifts, right? That she was helping me out. But at the same time, right, I knew she expected me to take care of myself. And yeah, and I've been doing that for 2 months. I haven't been doing a very good job at it. And but I'm doing it, and you haven't even had to lift one penny or dig into your pocket for anything. So yeah, we're good. We're good. There's no blame, and I apologize if you think I did you wrong in any way. And yeah, I hold no grudges. And yeah, maybe next year I can come visit for Christmas dinner, or maybe I'm in a better situation that maybe I can put on Christmas dinner, right? This year, and have my sisters come and have Christmas dinner with me. Yeah. No, we were just talking about family problems, right? Like Christmas this year is going to be a little bit strained. I've decided that for everybody's well-being, that maybe I'll stay away from Christmas. I do have my sister's Christmas card here that I'll make sure that as soon as my I get some money to help me with my rent every month, right? So I'll make sure that I'll send her card, and I'll pick up some nice treats, nice groceries for my couple of days off of my diet, right? And yeah, it'll be a great Christmas. It'll be interesting. I remember my dad doing um a Chinese food day Christmas, like uh what was it? He gathered up all of us kids, and yeah, we went to a traditional Chinese food restaurant with the table that moved, right? With your hands, you could wheel the whole table around. And yeah, we had like Peking duck. We had Peking duck for Christmas one year, and I don't know what got into his head that way, or that year, because it was the first and only time that we didn't spend Christmas at home. Oh no, that's not true. We went up. I think I told this story one time when my dad was a gambler, right? He liked to play poker, and he had a really bad poker night right before Christmas, and he had promised my aunt that we would come up to Dawson, or not Dawson Creek, 150 Mile House to visit her for Christmas. And he gambled, and he ended up having to pawn his car, which was going to take us up to 150 Mile House on Christmas morning to spend Christmas with her and her new husband. And he ended up pawning the car, borrowing a pickup truck, and he put my mother and my youngest sister in the pickup truck with him in the front. And then me and my other sister had to sit in the back of the car, and in the back of the truck in the pickup. And we drove all the way out there in the middle of winter. And yeah, I had blankets that were stuck on my face, and it peeled the skin off of my face and everything. It was really not a good idea. But yeah, that was 2 Christmases that we didn't spend. But otherwise, we always spent Christmases, at home, turkey dinner. My dad was always the last person to leave the Christmas table, right? He was pretty much the only person who ate the plum pudding too. We had plum pudding every year, and I think my dad was the only one who ever ate it, right? But yeah, some things are tradition, right? Some things that don't get, like my brother-in-law, he makes a pork stuffing for the turkey, right? Nobody touches it because it's his family recipe, right? We don't know. When we look at it, we don't know what's in it. But he's the only one who eats his stuffing. But he makes it every year. He makes a big pile out of it, and Yeah, he's the only one who eats this stuffing, this pork stuffing that he makes, right? But yeah, sometimes. Oh, but my sister made this diet pumpkin roll. It with this special flour that she buys, this gluten-free flour. It costs lots of money, right? But man, she made this delicious dessert this Thanksgiving when I went to her house, right? Oh, Nancy, really? So you won't celebrate on yourself? Do you put decorations up or do you make a turkey or anything, Nancy? I would be interested to know that. If you do turkey or presents, do you like nothing? It's just another day? Nothing. Is that ever interesting? Wow. See, and I haven't put any Christmas decorations up in oh, years and years, everybody, years and years. Now let me see if I can do this without messing it all up. But look at everybody. I got a Christmas tree. I did the Christmas tree. I decorated. I said I was going to do Christmas this year, and I kept my promise. And then when I did the decorations, let me just get this in the right spot. When I did my decorations, my Christmas decorations, I just even said, well, why? Why did I even bother it, right? And I stared at the little angel ornaments on the tree, and I put a couple of ornaments in the window, and I have these antique wax candles, like one Santa and one Frosty the Snowman from like the 40s or 50s, these two beautiful candles that I have, right? And I was looking at it, and I was thinking, I don't feel anything, right? I don't feel anything. Like if I hadn't brought like I promised myself I was going to do Christmas this year, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to have an apartment, but it got closer, and I thought, well, somebody's got to be not a very nice person if you're going to boot somebody out at Christmas time. So I said I'm going to bring up the decorations, and I went up to or I went downstairs to the locker and I pulled up the boxes of decorations and I put some in a bag for my niece, right? Because she collects Christmas now, right? So I put some of the decorations for her because once I had the decorations up, I looked and I said, yeah, no, I'm probably not going to do Christmas again. It's I don't feel that connection. So I'm glad you said that, Nancy. I'm glad you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I just put the little tree on I have this great big huge cherry coffee table that I absolutely love. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I think I'm just gonna have a big estate sale. I'll just maybe call the auction house and I'll just tell the auctions to come because I used to go to those auctions, right? And they just buy entire households and then you get like 40% or something of whatever they sell it for. But I think the couch, I'll just throw my couch away, even though it was a very expensive couch and it never got very much use at all, right? Because I bought it and, it only gets sat in on Christmas Eve when my family, my sisters come to visit me, right? But those cushions worked out so good when I had my car. Oh, I miss my car. I miss having it. I'm trying not to think about it, but I do miss my car. But I'm keeping the cushions for camping because they worked out so perfect. They worked out so perfect for me, and I know my next vehicle that they'll come in really, really handy dandy because I'll make sure that I get I get a car that I can put the seats down properly because yeah, if I can do that living, maybe I'll just go live on the road, right? Maybe I'll just buy a cheap car and just spend my next year just traveling, right? Wouldn't that be fun? That would be really fun. That would be great for my YouTube channel. Wouldn't that be great for my YouTube channel if I could just get in the car and just live in my car, even for 6 months, if I could just go away for 6 months, that would do me a lot of good. That would do my channel a lot of good. And at the same time, I could practice my mindset because I want to bring my mindset into my brand, right? Yeah, like I said, it's getting to the point where I have the confidence to say, hey, look what I did for myself, right? And if I ever get to that point, you guys won't be able to shut me up. Yeah, and I expect at some point it's gonna click in, and yeah, I'll be able to show everybody what good I did with my life by learning mindset. Makes for easy to tear down your Christmas though, William. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I do believe my sister said that a couple of weeks ago they put the Christmas up in my sister's house, right? Uh, I'm sure Ray went to his land and chopped down a Christmas tree because he's been pruning trees for a couple of years now. So he's got a lot of trees that look really nice. So he had a tree picked out for my sister this year. I haven't seen it. I haven't been up to their house since since our last conversation, and I feel bad, how it went down, right? But I'm not feeling bad that it did go down. I'm glad because I know now for sure that it can't go back. It'll never go back to the way it was. It can't go back because yeah, I've changed, right? You know, and I've changed for the better. That's the sad thing about it. Like I've changed so much for the better, and they just don't get it. Like I'm 10 times better, 100 times better than the person I even was last year, right? Yeah, but they don't see that. But I don't blame them. I don't judge them, and yeah, and I'm just as at fault to that relationship deteriorating the way it did as they are, right? It's just I can't be around. I can't just be around those negative feelings. Like it made me feel terrible to feel those things about myself, right? And to have my sisters, feel that way about me, right? You know? And not all of them. Not all of them. Yeah. I still visit my one sister, right? Yeah, we're more closer now than we've ever been, and she's so smart, right? We have these conversations, and then she'll give me something really smart, and I'll go, What did you say?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know." And she's searching her brain to figure out what was the great insight that she had given me, and it just slips her mind completely. Yeah, but that's how it works. So, what is up with everybody for Christmas? Does anybody have any people that come in from out of town for Christmas? I'd be interested to know that. Do you put your family up for Christmas? Yeah, I have the couch, but Sharon was the first person that visited me. Well, my husband used to fly in every once in a while and stay here for a couple of days, but other than that, that's the first time that I've had anybody stay in my house in over 10 years, right? Yeah. I don't get visitors here. I don't yeah, the idle. I like conversations. I like storytelling, but interesting, not piddly talk, not small talk, right? I like the in-depth talks. The in-depth conversations is what I like, right? I think you're right. I think you hit on something on there, Andrew. Yeah, I think you hit on something. My sisters, and it is because we're not relating anymore. I'm certain that that's what's causing the issues is that we just don't relate anymore. Of course, the financial strain of it, but yeah, my sister, it was never a money thing with my sister, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it my sister is not that type of person, right? You know, my sister's always been generous and always taken care of her family, and you know, it's but she went through so much, right? She hurt her back, she broke her tailbone, you know, she's got some arthritis, you know, yeah, my and she works super hard, like yeah, she's top taken on like a top position within the company, and yeah, everybody, she has to answer to everybody now, like everybody comes to her with their problems and everything, yeah. So it was just the dynamics of our relationship that changed, right? 2 26-pound turkeys. Holy moly. My sister grabbed a 31-pound turkey one time, and they couldn't get it into the oven. They couldn't get this turkey into the oven. I think they had to take the legs off of it or something in order to get this turkey into the oven. Yeah, it wouldn't fit in pan or anything. So they know now that they have to go anywheres from they usually go from 23 pounds to 25 pounds in their turkey, but I don't think she usually doesn't go any higher than 27 pounds on her turkey. But yeah, we go into the same store for our turkey every year. We go straight to the market, and we call it the mother bird. So we just go the butcher, and they put all big turkeys out, but you know, we know they got the good ones hidden in the walk-ins, right? So we always say, can we have the mother bird, please? The biggest turkey that you can find back there. And they'll disappear for 10 or 15 minutes, and they'll come out with just monster turkeys for us. Yeah, it is the dynamics of the relationships that you get comfortable with, right? The way things are, right? And you know, when I was doing so many changes emotionally, and I was changing physically, I was changing, right? And at the same time, my sister is working hard, hard, hard at her job, and she's, you know, trying to, you know, give her sisters good lives, you know, because it wasn't just for me, she did it for her whole family and everything, right? And, you know, so there was, in our conversations, we actually talked about it was the sense of jealousy, right? You know, the envy that I was out there playing, having fun, doing what I want to do while she was striving and working to make a living. So I see her point, right? Because you know, if you're not looking, then of course that's what it would look like I was doing. But I was scrambling. I was trying to save. Like my brand, my Prairie Dodgers is everything. Like that's my one thing in my whole life. That was the one thing in my whole life that I truly committed to, that won't leave me unless I leave it. And I have no intentions ever, you know. I will switch to something else, and I will try something else until I got it figured. Yeah, for sure I will. I will never give up on my brand. Oh, yeah. I was out there this summer, and it broke my heart to see the leaves growing out of the sticks that we had cut, right? When we had made that fort, right? And then we made the fort, and then I went out there and I saw the leaves growing out of these dead branches. I guess the branches weren't completely dead yet because these poor leaves were growing out of them, but it made me feel really, really bad, really bad. I don't, and so I was collecting sticks when we had that big storm and we lost so many of our trees, right? I was collecting the branches and stuff from the walking sticks because I didn't know whether I could cut any more of the aspens or any more of the Manitoba maple for my walking sticks, right? I didn't know whether or not I would have the heart to do it because I've changed even more. Like I've always loved nature, right? Like I've always loved nature, but this year, and especially when I went on my trip to Toronto and I got to spend those couple of days of seeing different landscapes because Ontario's landscape is a lot different. Some of it's familiar because a lot of it is rocky, like we are rocky here in Manitoba, but they have mountains, right? We don't have mountains here in Manitoba. We have hills, right? But we don't have mountains, and I just love the mountains. Like I did a little short video where I put all my little clips and stuff from my Toronto visit. I put a lot of those little clips together. I wanted to play a little bit with the program, that the app that I had, to see what else I could do with it, right? I was thinking maybe some of my explore videos and stuff that I could tie up like that. And so I tried to experiment with that trip, and yeah, I did manage to get a little video put together with this program. If you guys are interested, the program's called InShot, and it makes really, really, like, where you can add all your little clips and make videos. So yeah, I really like playing with it. But what was I going to say about that? Yeah, it just made me reminisce a little bit about the nature and about, you know, being outdoors, and how much I love it, right? And now that it's winter, and I just feel so shut down, and this is not a good time for me to feel that way, right? To feel, I wish it was spring right now because I could do what I have to do right now if it was not so cold and frozen and desolate and depressing out there, because that's how I feel about it this year, right? Because I can't even go out there and enjoy it because I just so much worry going on, right? And I'm trying to brush this worry off, but I got to keep some of it, because if I don't keep some of this worry, then I don't have anything to motivate me to get out there and to find something decent, to keep this roof over my head and to make it so that I can get back on track with this brand of mine, right? Yeah. Yeah, and get disrespected by longtime friends. Yeah, I had surprising. It was surprising that happened. It was really actually quite heartbreaking when I lost my good friend this year, right? But I would much rather that have happened than to get even closer and then to have her do that to my face, right? She did that online. She didn't do it to my face, but she's the type of person who if she's got something to say, she'll say it. So she wouldn't have had no problem saying that to my face, right? But yeah, no hard feelings there. No hard feelings. She didn't. Yeah, she said some things about me, but only because she only knew about the relationship she had with this person, right? Because yeah, my mother was a different person. When my father passed away, my mother turned into a different person, right? So yeah, lots of people loved my mother. Lots of people loved my mother, right? But she didn't know my mother before, like, so yeah, I'm not going to, I'm not going to let it bother me, right? It wasn't her fault because she didn't know her either, right? So it's just something that happened. Oh, I can't even afford. I haven't had a Tim Hortons. Did I have a Tim Hortons this week? No, I haven't had a Tim Hortons. Yeah, last week coffee was $1 at McDonald's. I was enjoying that. Yeah, but yeah, now I'm on coupons. Yeah, so I've got a couple of coffee coupons. If I want to go for coffee, it's to walk in the cold to McDonald's, and I am still going for my walks. I didn't go for a walk tonight, but maybe after my live, then I'll get my gear on and go for a walk up to the McDonald's and grab myself a cup of coffee, right? Because I do like to get out and get my fresh air, and I do like to go for the walks in the evening. They're just not as pleasant, right? When I have lots of worries, it would be nice for me to have a nice warm breeze and smell the grass and feel the grass and feel the trees and yeah, get more in touch with the nature. It's harder for me to connect with the nature, when it's all frozen, right? Because even going up and like sometimes I'll walk on the boulevards and I'll just run my hands along the trees as I'm walking up the street. I'll just run my hands along the trees as I'm passing by them. But even then I've got my gloves on, right? So you're not really connecting with nature. Yeah, and I am to fault for a lot of that. I've lost so many friends, in the past 20 years, right? And it was from the complex trauma, right? It's one of the things that happens to you is you isolate yourself, right? That you tend to spend all your time with yourself. And then sometimes it's good because you can go inside your mind and you can emotionally connect with yourself, right? And sometimes, like me, that spiritually that something can awaken and give you new insight and possibilities and give you something, a little hope or a little bit of inspiration to go off and do something new, right? But yeah, lots of times that I just ended the relationships. I just stopped calling and stopped popping into the places where I knew these people and I gave up all those friendships. I gave them all. I There were some friendships that I thought were heart friendships, friendships that even though I knew I would only see them once a year or once every 6 months or so, that I always knew that friendship was so tight that it would be here. And this was one of those friendships, right, that I lost this year, right? you know and we were very close, even though we only saw each other once or twice a year. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad when that happens. But you know what can you do, right? You can only control your actions. You can't control the thoughts or the ideas or the actions of others, right? So you have to give them that respect, right? If they think differently, you have to give them that respect, because those are their thoughts. I know how I feel if somebody tried to dictate, to me, how to think. I am open to ideas. If you want to have a conversation with me and you actually want to take a shot at convincing me at one of your ideas or one of your viewpoints, oh, I am open for that. For sure I am, right? I would much rather be enlightened and sent down the right path than, to think wrong about a subject and go down a totally different, train of thought altogether, right? So, but how's William tonight? I hope William's been doing good. And Nancy, I'm so glad Nancy is going on a trip. And yeah, a little bit of warmth that will do you good. That wet cold in Seattle cannot be doing you any good at all. And I hope you got some great friends that you can stay with, right? Is that what you were saying? You're going to go stay with friends? Oh, Williams looks like he's got some good plans for Christmas. And then Andrews, he's going to make himself a turkey, just like me. maybe Andrew on Christmas Day, me and you can. Oh, you don't have Instagram. I was gonna say that maybe we can do some video chatting or something on Instagram, you know. And Owen too, make sure you get a hold of me before Christmas, unless I get a hold of you. And Dave, I don't know, Dave, you got my email, right? You know, like yeah, email, like you guys, you're welcome to. It's not like I have thousands and thousands of subscribers that you guys are interrupting my day or anything. I would be absolutely thrilled to get an email. I know Owen on occasion emails me, Andrew emails me all the time, gives me little chit chats. Sharon hasn't been in our lives in the past couple of weeks, and that's my fault too, right? Because I really wanted to get in an in-depth conversation with her about her visit here with me, right? She was such a great guest, right? And I wish I had some resources that I could have really taken her out. We could have done some amazing things, right? She did get some explorers, and I did manage to take her to a couple of my favorite explorers, even though it was raining. She really couldn't get out, but and yeah, she loved her walks. Like, we have so many beautiful places to go for walks here, and she really did enjoy her evening walks here. But yeah, I love Sharon, right? But yeah, I'm gonna have to make a point of emailing her this week, actually. Let's make a note for that too. Yeah, because that's important to me too. Because Sharon was an important relationship. Like, she made that effort to come all the way up here to Canada, right? From California. Yeah, from California to come and stay with me. Like, it was just amazing and that was the first time. That was an experience for me. It was hard too, right? Because I spent 2 weeks, I slept on the couch for 2 weeks, and then the same day she left, I left for Toronto, and I spent another week sleeping in my car. It was comfy. It was an amazing. It was an amazing. I can't. There is not one thing about that trip that I could not think positively about. Except maybe I wish I had a little bit of money for the first few days, that I could have gone out for dinner with them in the evening, right? But I didn't have any money. I didn't even have money for coffee or anything, right? But I wasn't even sure if the money was going to be deposited into my account for me to be able to get home from Toronto. I just took a chance. Yeah, I just took a chance. Yeah, I took a chance, and it worked out. It just worked out perfectly. Yeah. And Evan's going on tour in January, and yeah, I would like to pick a city, to go and visit him far away, but I don't even have a vehicle, right? I don't even know if I'll have a job that I can even go fly to go see him in one of his cities, right? But if I was, I think I probably want to go back to Toronto, only because he's doing his last one in Toronto, and it's his birthday one, so I think that would be a good trip, right? And he's doing his next Thought Leadership Academy in May too. I have no idea. I'm going to be heartbroken if I don't get to go to that one. I'm going to be heartbroken. Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, you set the goals, and then you just work backwards, right? Like, if you want to take a trip, or if you want to do a course, or anything. If you want to buy an outfit and it's expensive, or you want to buy a house or a car, like, you set the goal, right? You set the goal and you just work backwards. It works out so well for me. I should go into his website tonight and just pick my spot, and then just set the goal and just figure out one way or another how to just make it happen. I mean, that's pretty much what I did last time. It worked out absolutely terrific, right? We have been yapping now. We got a few more minutes. What else is going on? No, I don't have my cat, William. My cat passed away. Oh, you have feral cats. Oh, that's nice that you feed them, Owen. Yeah, I'm not sure about the cat. I'm not sure. I really would like a cat, but at the same time, I remember when I had my mom's cat, how bad I felt about leaving it behind when I wanted to go camping or I wanted to go do stuff. Like I always had to take the cat into consideration, right? You know, and especially it was an old cat too, so it wasn't nice to leave him, by himself, right? So yeah, I have to give it a little bit of consideration. It's a big responsibility. Like that's going to be my friend, right? That might be my last. Well, if I got a kitten, it would definitely probably be my last. Well, I plan on living into my hundreds no matter what. Yeah. Minimum of 94. I see that. But yeah, I'd like to see myself living into my hundreds. I'm healthy enough that possibility is there, right? That possibility is there for me to live to be that age, but yeah, it's about taking care of yourself, right? But anybody, let's call it a night. It was, yeah, that hour and a half went really fast tonight, right? And it's actually 2 hours tonight because usually we ended it at 9 o'clock and it's almost 9:30 now. Yeah, that just went really, really fast. I think maybe I'll get my snow pants on and bundle up a little bit and go walk over and grab a coffee. Everybody, have a great night. We'll see you next Sunday, and we're also going to see you next Tuesday. Everybody, don't forget 2 days we're going to do next week. Now, if I don't show up on Sunday, you know it's because I had no way of doing it, but I am determined, and I won't let you guys down. Uh, Christmas Eve, 7 o'clock. We'll see you for sure, and then also on next Sunday, we'll get together again, 7:30. Everybody have a great week. Nancy, I hope you just have the most amazing trip. Have the most amazing trip. You so deserve it. You so deserve it. Yeah, January 13th. What a great trip that's going to be. Awesome. Owen, thank you. Andrew, thank you. William, thank you. Everybody in the background. Dave, awesome. You popped by. Jennifer, everybody, awesome. Have a great night. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up before you leave. That would be nice because then YouTube will push this video out. Have a great night, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.